astrology and other divinatory arts are not a replacement or substitute for physical or psychiatric health care. If this is an emergency situation or you are in crisis, please do not defer your wellness to readings or horoscopes. Seek situation-appropriate, qualified assistance instead. Hey there, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for December 2022. And just a quick reminder, if you are ever interested in getting a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. Leave a comment even, because as you know, any content you engage with grows. So what is going on when it comes to your December? We have some leftover influence from November that's actually with us all the way up through mid-January 2023, and that is Mars retrograde all month long in Gemini. This is your fifth house of love, romance, your relationships with your kids, parenthood, as well as your creative and recreational pursuits. Mars retrograde puts whatever area of the chart it is moving through under construction. We see a lot of demolition, renovation, diminished activity, dismantling of old, broken, or unhealthy things, as well as taking pieces off the board that have become liabilities, obstacles, negative interference, as well as adversaries and enemies, just gone. However, with Mars retrograde, sometimes it can still be a challenge going through the process because you still have to deal with people that might not handle the process with very much grace. Mars retrograde is going hard on removing all of the negative elements from this part of your chart that may prohibit you from having the relationship, the romance, as well as the relationships with your kids or your own craft on your terms and the way that it works for you most naturally. Mars retrograde in the fifth house can be a bit tough because there is going to be a purging of a lot of interference that may be standing in the way of that outcome, whether this has to do with other people or even interference coming in the form of conditioning, whether this has to do with partner conditioning, your conditioning, the legacy of, unhealthy parental relationships. Sometimes we have to deal with that. We may also be dealing with things that may have come up as obstacles or obstructions in the pursuit of fulfilling a creative goal, a business goal, or some kind of recreational pursuit that we want for ourselves. And we're also tearing down a lot of walls when it comes to closeness, intimacy, and commitment as it relates to both our romantic lives and our relationships with our kids. This is an overwhelmingly positive transit. It's just that conflict can also come up here. It's constructive conflict, but again, you are going to have to also be ready to be dealing with people that may not cope very well or sufficiently even. And this could maybe be okay even for you and your partner or your spouse or a new person. This can bring in new people into your life. It may even be fine for you and your kids. But when it comes to any kind of obstacles or interference or shadows or any kind of negativity that has been permitted to exist, not going to be so easy for that or those who perpetuate it or sustain it. Week 1, we've got a triple blessing in your 11th house of friendships, your social network, your closest community as it relates to your platonic support system. So the guys, the girls, your fellows, as well as your loftiest goals and ambitions. The Sun, Venus, and Mercury are all here together. And with the Sun in your 11th house, focusing on attention, enhancement, support, and growth, this is about closeness. This is about getting you a chance to have the support system that is the most meaningful, the most intimate, as well as the best bonded you could have. People are really showing up for you at this time. With the Sun in our 11th house, the very atmosphere and the environment around all of our friendships and our groups is going through a beautiful level up. A lot of shadows are being cleared and purged here as well because the Sun tends to focus on purifying everything, and you may find that a lot of things that were even tolerable shadows or tolerable toxicity or what you were forced to tolerate is getting the boot. In fact, the sun in the 11th house is also going to be doing a lot of healing work on relationships that you have become distanced from, and anything that's been standing in the way of you having the friendships that you desire or the bonds that you have with friends that maybe you can't connect to as much as you'd like anymore is getting the hell out. Venus here, the planet of love, favor, popularity, and affection, is putting you in a beautiful space to not only watch your social life flourish, but your romantic life is also getting boosted by all of this new social activity at the same time. We're going on adventures with our partner, or if we're single and available, we are meeting partners on adventures, meeting people through our friendship circle even. And with Venus, there's also a lot of transformation going on when it comes to your personal life or your internal world because of helpful contributions coming to you through your friends or allies. And Mercury is speeding up the achievement and accomplishment of all kinds of big goals and ambitions, whether they are things that you want to fully commit to or they're bucket list items during this time, bringing in the means, as in the resources and the money, through your community and expanding your social network all at the same time. Absolutely gorgeous. After we go into week 2, Mercury and Venus move on into Capricorn, which is your 12th house of your past, the privacy zone, anything going on behind the scenes or behind closed doors. And with Venus in the 12th house, this is the time where a lot of getaway moments kind of happen. A lot of you Aquarian people may be spending a lot more time in private with partners. If you are single or available to new people, you may be connecting with somebody but choosing to keep it private for a while. You know, we don't need the neighbors and the office knowing all of our personal business, but this is also a time to get really close and really intimate because behind closed doors, people really open up. This is also a time where a lot of old pleasures or old fantasies or old love languages come back to life. A lot of you may be reviving old stories or maybe old loves to share with your partner, you know, maybe things that take us back to yesteryear a little bit in our relationship, reigniting the time when we were dating again, bringing back some puppy love energy. And for those of you who may be single or available, yes, it's very possible that during this time, familiar faces may also show up for an opportunity for love or relationships to blossom forth there. May not necessarily always be somebody we were with in the past. Sometimes it is. And sometimes it might just be people that we see in a new light that we never went that way with. When it comes to Mercury, we're also opening up old lines of communication with friends and allies in the past that are also funneling new opportunities for wealth our way. Even though it may be coming out of the past, it's new money. This is also a time where old projects, old enterprises, or old collaborations are coming back online for a big score. We have a full moon in Gemini, that 5th house of love, romance, creativity, recreation, and parenthood on the 7th. And this is going to open up a 2-week window period for some serious culminations, transitions, and endings. Now, with the full moon in the 5th house, this is all about the elimination of a legacy, the elimination of a story, a narrative, or an influence that has to go because everyone is ready to graduate, move onward and upward. This can be a time where a lot of you Aquarian people become official with somebody, right? We're ending one chapter and stepping into the next. Some of you may be purging something from your relationship history or even your personal history as it relates to your parents or your kids, creating a clean slate for all relationships involved, however that shows up. And a lot of you are also going to find that a block, a creative block, or maybe a block to a business enterprise is also going away. In week 3, we've got Jupiter entering Aries on December 20th, and it's going to be there all the way up through mid-May of 2023. Jupiter being the planet of wealth, novelty, expansion, growth, and prosperity. And this is your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, your peer group, and helpful third parties. When Jupiter goes into the 3rd house, This is where we start to have our name on blast in the best of ways possible. All kinds of different projects or excursions or ventures that you've been on are becoming so much more lucrative. And you are also finding that your name and your work is traveling much farther and wider than you could have thought. You may be becoming a local celebrity in your community, or you may be getting a chance to expand operations as it relates to something very close and important to you in such a way where you can branch out and get out of being stuck in maybe one spot or one tight corner of your community. This is also a time where you are finding that you are flush with cash because this is also where a lot of lucrative collaborations are in the offering for you. We have the Sun entering Capricorn on December 21st. And this is going to be something that's with you all the way up through week 3 of January. The Sun in your 12th house of your past, privacy, and hidden zone is creating a period of resurrection and revival if you are willing to work with it, bringing things back to life that we used to have that maybe we had to let go of, or they collapsed, or we had to release it out because of some other kind of influence. Now you get to have it once again. You know, sometimes people hate it when I talk about this kind of thing because whenever I talk about reviving something from the past, they foolishly think about the reason they lost it, not the goal. This is a time where you get a chance to really look and see what is it that I couldn't have that was a nice thing because of something else. But now that that something else is out of the picture or gone or done, again, its legacy destroyed, I can have that nice thing back. That is what the Sun in the 12th house is all about. And this could be bringing back opportunities to heal a lot of connections that you may have with paths and practices or even aspects of yourself that you left behind. It's all in all a very advantageous transit. In fact, we have a new moon here on the 23rd of the month. A new moon being all about seed planting, new beginnings, initiations, and new long-term commitments, and something has a chance at new life. And in the 2 weeks following the 23rd of December, this could be a time where a friendship, an investment, a move, an adventure gets a chance to, well, enjoy a new lease on life. This could be coming back to life. Or it could be something that has just become distanced, or it's something that was stalled or kept up on a high shelf for way too long. So take full advantage of what comes back to you. And finally, we also have Mercury turning retrograde in this part of your chart as well. And this is really more of a January aspect. Mercury retrograde is, at work from the 29th of December all the way up through the 18th of January 2023. And Mercury retrograde is all about reversals, reviews, retrievals, and reevaluations. Now with Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, this is a time where we get to undo the work done by others that had some kind of negative impact on us in the past. Now, this could be undoing the work done by, again, an old employment situation, an old circumstance with one's health, an old circumstance as it relates to family, an old relationship, but that reversal power is strong here. And with the review and reevaluation focus here as well, a lot of you are going to be receiving a lot of information from out of your past that's going to show you where some revisionist history may have occurred as it relates to any of these matters and what you can do to take advantage of the new information that's coming forth. And retrievals may even be the retrieval of old opportunities and resources you were once deprived. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.